is Theresa Hong, and I am your host. RC is normally here, but he's been really busy lately, so I've been going solo for a while. We are hosting from the Partisan on Main Street, Merced. Strong libations, great bartenders, great staff.
Extra lime.
We have a bartender sitting in the peanut gallery right now. Becky, yay! Today we are welcoming a very dear friend of mine. They're all dear friends. Well, actually, no. You are a very, very dear, dear friend of mine. Corey Strauss, who is kind of the Renaissance man, I would say, around Merced. Yeah? You agree with that?
Okay.
Yeah? All right, cool, cool. He just opened up a brand new shop called ZIG-AND-ZAG right off of Main and Canal.
1708 Canal Street.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Yes, and this shirt is from that establishment.
The house of ZIG-AND-ZAG.
Yeah. I think I'm keeping you in business right now.
You are. You are.
How much I'm buying. And you also are part of Playhouse Merced.
Yes.
Yes, you do set design, you act, you sing, you do costume design, you do just everything. He is the person that everybody should know around town, but you don't because he's just too damn humble. So,
Yeah.
Corey Strauss.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome.
Hello.
I'm glad you're here. We always cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, you need another drink.
I do need another drink.
Oh. Thanks, Garrett.
Vodka tonic, extra lime.
Extra limes, please. Awesome. So you opened up ZIG-AND-ZAG. We're
Yes.
going to talk about that first
Okay.
because it's awesome, and I don't think Merced has ever had anything like this, available. So tell me, number one, what exactly it is.
ZIG-AND-ZAG is a vintage retro-inspired new and used secondhand store. We don't like the word thrift, although we do love thrift stores. We love them. That's where everything comes from, inspiration, everything that's been done before. But we would rather choose to believe that we have gone out shopping and culled out all the crap. Are we allowed to say that on TV?
Yes, absolutely. You're
The
allowed
crap?
to say fuck on
The
this.
crap?
It's good.
Pulled out all the crap so that you are just coming in for that piece, that item that we feel evokes something that makes you feel good, something that makes you feel special, something a little wild. You can go. We don't really have a lot of tame clothes. We have great pieces that are normal basics like blouses and things, but I feel like you come in for the dress, you come in for the jacket, you come in for the skirt, you come in for the local, the local handmade accessories. We're just now starting to, we opened on January 3rd, and we're just now starting to feel comfortable enough to start creating all of that stock from the group of artists that is our take on things, our alterations, our upcycling part of it. Upcycling. It's one of my favorite words. I think I heard that word. I heard that word maybe 7 to 10 years ago. I heard upcycle start to pop up.
And what does it mean to you?
It means taking something and either reconstruction, deconstruction, tearing it apart, and then putting it back together in a way that is new, but with a nod of respect to what it was, but making it something very new and very current, or something that's reminiscent of something even older. Just something that has something to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who are your typical shoppers? Besides
Typical
me?
shoppers, it's really been everybody. It's been interesting to sit in the store and to watch the type of items that people are leaving with and just kind of be blown away by it. I didn't think you would ever want to pick out that jacket or that blouse or shirt or whatever. And I think when we first started, we thought we were going to get a young crowd because it is kooky and everything. Turns out that people who are interested in dressing kooky are the people who are like my age, confident in not being anything, not confident in not being part of a subculture, where I feel like my goal artistically for the store was to have an outlet for subculture a little closer to than having to go to the mall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I hate the mall. I will tell you that right now. And I hate, and you know me now for several years, and I hate any type of just kind of mainstream stuff. But I think that your shop is so awesome because you can go in and I can pick out kind of a kooky piece, but I can pair it with, business attire. And so I have my own little flair, but it's not like totally outrageous.
Right.
But I can go in there and I can be totally outrageous, which is awesome. I mean,
It's all in the styling.
yeah.
It's all in your accessories, how you wear it. It's also, I think, how you carry it, like your personality. If you say, I'm going to wear this, you're wearing it. Yeah, if you're uncomfortable about it even a little bit, I think people are going to, I don't know, maybe be too critical and be like, what is she wearing? What, she thinks she can pull that off? But I think it's attitude as well.
Yeah, and your store is full of attitude.
Full of attitude.
It's full of attitude. Yeah. So how is business?
It's been really fun. It's been breaking even. It's been doing a little better than breaking even, which is all I wanted for the first couple months.
Yeah, that's
before,
fantastic.
Winter is a hard time to start anything.
Right.
And in this economy.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really excited of where it's been going and how it's doing, but I'm really excited about spring. I'm really excited about summer. I didn't realize, I knew I wanted to do all this, but I did not realize how much I love putting a woman in a dress, an old dress. I don't know what that does for me. Why? I don't know, but there's something about it that I love.
So that's another element of Zig and Zag is that you will actually, you
style
and
it,
Megan
yeah.
will you'll style the person. So if somebody comes in and if they have absolutely no idea what looks good on them, or like they don't even know how to wear clothes, or they don't know exactly what style or they're comfortable, then you will.
We'll do a fitting.
Yeah.
We'll schedule a fitting. I kind of asked them some questions. I asked them what typical size they wear, which I think that's my first question, to just be point honest about it. Tell me exactly the size you buy. No one else is going to know because everything fits differently. It doesn't matter.
Are they honest?
Yeah, for the most part, they are.
Cool.
There's been a few cases where people are like, I don't wear dresses and I
Do
don't
people
wear
get
this.
upset? Let me just tell you this. Do people get upset like because a lot of your stuff is vintage?
Yeah.
And vintage, they sized bigger. So like vintage, I will wear
Yeah.
like an 8 or a 10. I mean, I will wear an 8 or a 10 in vintage.
It's funny because
And
the vintage stuff
today's-
either is bigger or smaller.
But
Yeah.
today's industry, everybody wants to make everybody feel good. Like they
Yeah.
really are a size 4 or a 2, and they're really not. Like in the standards. So do people like get that's what I'm wondering. Do people get upset like if they go in there and they get a typical size and they're like,
No, because the first thing I also say after that is don't look at any of the size. It doesn't matter what size it is, because as soon as you get it, we're gonna cut the tag off if you like. You never have to look at that size again. Doesn't matter. I forgot what I was
if
gonna
it feels
say.
good. Well, I just think if it feels good, I think it's
Yeah.
it's great. But they're just I've come in there with pieces, and you're right. I think it comes like from one extreme to the other. But I find that like with I mean, you know me. I'm the '60s and '70s chick. I love anything that's mod, anything that's like Houston, anything that's like Studio 54, that kind of thing. And it just seems like every single size that I have, and I'm kind of not used to it. It's kind of funny because when I grab it and it says size 10, and I'm like, I'm a size fucking 10? Fuck this shit. But because it's vintage. So I was just wondering because, I mean, women are funny like that, and they come in and
I don't think anybody's no one has told me they have a problem with that yet.
I don't have a problem with it.
No,
but I
like,
just,
It's because it's not the mall. It is a scavenger hunt. It is the challenge of the hunt.
Yeah, but
think.
it's a beautiful scavenger hunt because you kind of take the challenge out of the hunt because you're taking stuff in and pulling, like what you said, kind of the best of the best, so that you're not having to go
Dig through dirty T-shirts.
Right.
And dig through
right.
knotted sweaters. No.
Yeah, you're not having to go
Yeah.
through a Starvin' Marvin T-shirt in order to get a
Yeah. And this may be gross,
Yeah.
but my favorite thing to do is to find something that has like a stain on it, and then like, we'll wash the stain or whatever, blah blah blah. But then we'll either put a patch on it or we'll do something. We got people who want to start silk screening things where you're saving something. You're saving it. It was gonna get thrown away. There was something that someone threw it away for a lipstick on the collar. You put a ruffle on it and you put a pin on a brooch on it, and then you'd never see it again. You never have to think about it again. It's done.
Yeah.
And now it's even better. It's even more interesting. Yeah.
Which, I think deeper, and I'll just go a little bit deeper now, because I think as far as from, even like a sociology perspective. I think it's really interesting because we are a society that just throws things away. And I think that that's probably one of the reasons why I'm drawn so much to like thrift stores and Zig and Zag and stuff, because I think that you're repurposing and it's beautiful and okay, you know, we're recycling, all that kind of stuff, but also it's kind of a piece of history. Yeah. It's like something that's just gone away. And I think that with today's clothes, just like the mass production of, you know, okay, well, we're just going to make, you know, 10,000 of this or whatever. The quality's not there. The style's not there. It's just, it's like when I wear this, like I'm wearing this, and I know that freaks a lot of people out, but I always am like, I wonder who wore this before me, and I wonder what that person was like, and I wonder if she was anything like me, or, you know, that kind of thing. And I think that draws me to Zig and Zag too. Like you're always wondering.
Might hold energy. Who knows?
Well,
it might.
Seriously, I really do, and I'm always like, well, why would they throw this away?
I've worked in theater costume shops and stuff just around Peaked In, where you hear every once in a while stories of like, well, this has the ghost of so and so, so maybe.
Yeah, and I'm wondering like why I'm drawn to certain pieces.
Body, it's right next to everything you're doing, and maybe it holds some kind of a story or energy.
Because I always do. I mean, I'm always thinking about that. Like, who wore this?
Yeah.
And where did they wear it to? And, you know, what the fuck were they doing? And I just think that's really, really...
Why sometimes do we find a piece of clothing and for some reason we, oh my God, I have to have that. Why? Am I going to wear it? I don't know. I just have to have it. No, you have to have it.
Yeah. Well, I did that last week. Yeah. When I filmed last week for the Overkill, I went in and I was like, I want something. And immediately it was that leopard coat. And I was like, I'm just going to wear this puppy as a dress.
Why would someone give that away?
I don't know. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
You got to watch last week's episode to see it. It was absolutely gorgeous. And now I'm like looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, it's one of my favorite pieces. But again, like what you said, why would somebody throw that away? But at the same time, what bitch wore this thing? Yeah. It's like awesome, you know? And what changed to where she was like, I don't want it anymore? What happened? That's just crazy.
I don't know.
Like, you're getting
we get stuff in. Sorry. We get stuff in. Well, we costume too. Costumers been costuming. My mom and my sister have been costumers my whole life. So clothes have always been around. Always. Tons of clothes. A lot of weird stuff. But it's amazing what people will give away without even wearing. Yeah. Christmas time, people get lots of gifts. They take them to the thrift store. I don't like this jacket. Whatever. Like, I've found stuff with the tags on it that came from Macy's for $200 that some kid just went, I don't want that. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, now it's mine. Yeah. For $4 instead.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, the first time when I met you, we were doing, that's the first show that I ever did, was 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized that, wow, you can dress people. Like, you can dress people. You were pulling stuff out, and it was like that crazy 80s smorgasbord that, you know, and people were just, I don't know if I can wear that or not. And I immediately, when you pulled mine, I was like, I love it. I absolutely adore it. This is the best thing ever. So you do, and because you are in theater, which is awesome, you're dressing like very different sizes and I have never seen you put anybody in anything that isn't completely and totally just flattering and gorgeous and like speaks to not only, I think, their personality as just the person, but their personality for the character.
I like to say, I like to get a sense of the person. Immediate read. What is my interpretation of them? Whether it is, what's the word when you take when you. It's a good word. I'm trying to think of it. Topical. No, not topical. When you just like kind of, oh, well, you're kind of this, okay. You know, and you read them, or they give you something and you're like, well, this is their body type and this is kind of their energy and their personality. And you go and you say, well, really, what kind of tells me more? Which one is more them? This one, all right, you work from there.
So what was it with me? What did you see with me?
You probably would wear anything. And you would probably say, yes, I'll try that on, which is number one. So that makes it fun. That makes it, you can go a little kookier, you can be more experimental. I think experimental is probably my favorite thing with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anybody can go to the store or Ross or the mall and dress themselves for not that much. Well, for the same price, if you want to do something a little different, I love anything that's not quite the norm, anything that
Yeah.
feels like it's trying to be something else. I don't know.
Well, yeah, something else, but then but then you have to feel comfortable in it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, yeah.
Well, nothing's made the way it used to be. I have found dresses in the past few weeks that I've got in that I'll turn it inside out to do an alteration or something. I'm like, they took the time to like stitch this
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. No,
Nothing
it's
is
funny.
made like that anymore.
You know, I bought that very 70s kind of, it's almost just like kind of a sheath, like, with the print and it's so funny because I work with an older woman in the office, and she went up to me and she loved it, but she actually like took the panel and she was like, "Is that real stitching?" And I said, "Yeah, it's real stitching." She's like, "Where did you get that?" It's like ZIG-AND-ZAG. It's vintage, so it's made well, And she's like, "I haven't seen anything like that since 1978." I don't know, but that's basically the vibe. Was that, wow? I haven't seen anything, and I was like, "Well, go to ZIG-AND-ZAG. I mean, if you want good clothing."
Everything in there has gone through my hands. It's been brought in for some weird reason, something connected that I thought. And usually it's quick. Usually my reaction to things is quick. I'm like, yes, no. And even when someone comes in and they try something on, I'll pull a bunch of stuff before they show up. And the first thing I say is, okay, we have 2 minutes for you to tell me yes, no, just so I can fire off and get an idea of where we're going.
But what if they don't know? What if they're just...
It doesn't matter if they know or not.
Okay.
I need them to be able to say, and they do this. I say, you have to say yes or no. Would you wear this? And my reaction sometimes is so funny because I'll go, really? You? Oh, well, try it. Throw it on.
Well, you do that with me sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, trust me.
Yeah.
I can pull it off.
Oh, well, it's like trusting each other. It's fun. You will like something immediately. There'll be a reason why you don't like something else. Fine, but it has to be, I feel like it has to be quick to begin with.
So when you pick pieces, do you have like specific people in mind? Like when you're picking them? Like do you say, oh, that's Theresa or that's Diane or that's this or that? Do you?
I do, yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, great.
I feel like it comes from a costuming background. You go shopping for a show, you look at the cast, you kind of get a general idea of all their sizes. Maybe you take measurements, but then you go shopping for whatever, and you quickly run through the store, you touch everything very quickly, and you just grab. You take a very quick second in the corner of the shop somewhere to go, well, I was wrong about this. Here's the 17 things I'm taking. And it's quick. It has to be quick. I don't want to think about fashion too much. I want to feel it really quickly.
Is it harder to dress a guy? I mean, are guys like the guys, because you also do you carry guys clothing, and I just often wonder.
I would say yes, because I think guys aren't. I don't think guys are tuned to care about what they're wearing. I think it's really ever been an issue.
Is that changing though? We have a lot of
Well,
people,
changing
I think.
maybe. I don't know. Well, if I'm going to talk from a costume perspective, men's clothes really hasn't changed in a very long time. The cut of a suit, the cut of a shirt, the cut of a pant, it's been the same for, I don't know, 200 years?
Right.
I don't know, about.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just wondering because I see, at least like the crowd that we kind of hang out with,
Yeah.
The guys are, I think, more fashion savvy, or at least want to be more fashion savvy.
It's more acceptable to wear something interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting there,
And
yeah.
I think that's, I think that the guys that are coming into your shop, because I've been there,
Yeah.
I'm there a lot, that when they come in and they just, I think that they get that expression like they're almost overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like they have no idea where to start. And then they're asking you for affirmation, which is really cute. It's so cute when they're like, I don't know.
I try to have everybody spend a minute in the mirror and take a step back and then step forward and step back. And then you're just, it's interesting to watch people. I don't want to tell them how to look at themselves, but I want them to be able to look in the mirror and I try to point them away from looking at their face. You're not looking at your face. You're looking at how that garment looks in a silhouette. Does that make me look whatever? And then your face is your face. You can't change your face. But you can change everything around it. And things are going to fit differently and shape differently. And then once you get a shape that you're attracted to in yourself, it changes immediately how you feel about the garment.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And now you also like I said, you like costume for Playhouse. Right now you're doing Shrek. Tell me about that. I went up into the costume room and I was like, oh my God.
In the past week, I have built a giant Humpty Dumpty costume.
Yes, complete with Band-Aid.
Complete with crack and Band-Aid.
Yes.
You know, sitting with the face and
How did you
about
build
this
it?
big.
What was it?
Out of foam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like the like bed foam is what it looked like.
It was thick, insulated bed foam.
Yeah.
That's probably about an inch and a half thick, and then I cut the shape. I hot glued it together to play with just really quickly the interpretation of what it was going to feel like on. Ripped it all apart, upholstered both sides lining inside of everything, sewed it back together, stuffed it, which was the hard part, trying to stuff this big thick foam.
Right.
And then pulling it out, shaping the foam, putting it back in, and then trying to figure out how it's going to fit our actor.
That's how difficult it is.
It's several tries to get something like
Yeah.
it's crazy, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I've really been enjoying. So like about midnight, when you guys are still doing the costumes, he'll post things. You'll post little videos. And so we have like the Humpty Dumpty with you coming over to the camera and you doing a funny dance. And we'll have, you are in this play, you're also starring in the play.
I'm playing the
White
White
Rabbit.
Rabbit. He has 2 lines. I'm not going to say what they are.
Oh, I know exactly what they are.
2 lines?
Yes.
And that's all I wanted.
But that's an awesome costume too.
Yeah.
And that's very,
This week has been all about doing headpieces with ears and making them comfortable, lightweight, interpretive.
but it's awesome because it's like your costume is very much like a like Frank Sinatra meets like Peter Rabbit. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like it's awesome. Like you've got this fitted like vest
Yeah.
and just everything, but then you have like this. I mean, it's fantastic.
If I was to go on a wild tangent.
Go on a wild tangent.
The people who are interested in wearing interesting clothes. This is just a really wild tangent. It's been a theory for a while because I feel it myself. If you're interested in anything aside of the norm at all, it's because for some reason you loved the way you dressed as a child.
That's interesting.
So, I mean,
That's interesting. Huh.
I loved the way I was dressed as a kid.
That's
I see
cool.
pictures and I still have
That's
that shirt.
interesting.
30 years later, I still have the same shirt.
That's interesting. Yeah, and I think with me it was completely the opposite. I don't think that I liked the way that my parents dressed me.
Okay.
And it just took me a long time to get to that place to where it's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to just go crazy,
Yeah.
you know. But I can totally see that. And it's really cool because you brought to life all these, you know, I've seen the costumes and they're fantastic. And it's kind of very cracked fairy tale. It's like a
Fractured, like Rocky Bullwinkle is always a good route to go back to. Fractured fairy tale.
fractured fairy tale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have
Or
this,
what's it called? Fairy Tale Theater by Shelley Duvall was always a good one.
Yeah.
Like, because
yeah.
it was for the time, it was
It was a
different
little,
and
it was
really
a little avant-garde.
La La Land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get this, and so you're. It's funny because people who are going to be watching Shrek, you know, like the movie and and seeing this play and seeing all these awesome costumes, because I think that in this play especially, I think the costumes themselves are characters. I mean, I just think that
the stories in the costume.
God, I mean, it's just brilliant.
But also, we keep in mind here that we are not Broadway, but our audience is really close. So things need to be textural. They need to be something that from close up, even this far away, the front row is as far away as you are now.
Right.
That it's still fun, that it doesn't look cheap.
Right.
It can be cheap. Cheap is great.
No, cheap is great, but it can't look cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and I get
Yeah.
that. And you know, going back to that point,
Costuming is all
To
about
where-
upcycling. It's 100% upcycling.
It is upcycling,
Unless
but
you're building from scratch, which is ridiculously expensive.
and what's interesting is that you said, I mean, that's how much that you care about, because we are, I mean, it's a small theater and everything's very close, but that you put that thought behind everything. I mean, it shows. I mean, it absolutely shows. It's just gorgeous
We have a
costuming.
lot of different personalities that costume, that deal with the fabrics and textiles, and some of them are softer in their approach to things, and some of us are harder. And when we do a show like this, we try to meld in the middle. We go, well, I'm doing this and it looks really punk rock, but I need to make sure that they like it too, so I'm softening all these edges, and hopefully they're doing the same thing so that the story is balanced.
Yeah,
Story-wise, visually.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And do you wait a little bit, like during rehearsals? Do you kind of sit there and do you watch kind of the character develop, and then, like, I know
Depends
that
on the show.
probably have
There
an
are some
idea.
shows that before they're even cast, I'm pulling and pulling and pulling that style of that show. You're in Town, for instance, I knew the utilitarian, strange 40s gutter toilet bowl that was going to live in. So I started pulling and pulling and pulling for that show and building it actually before I think it was even cast. But for this one, we probably should have started a long time ago, the pieces. But there's something about having to be in a time crunch,
The moment.
something about having to be in chaos that sometimes for me works better. It's scary as hell, but
Yeah.
then you don't even have time to look at what you've just finished. You just go, okay, go put that on. It's done. Something else, and you don't really. I mean, it's almost till week 2
Yeah.
of the show being open. You look around and go, shit.
Yeah.
What did we build?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
And you're doing the set too,
Yeah. And choreographing.
and choreographing.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're doing.
There are certain shows that it's easier. It sounds nuts. There are certain shows that it's easier to build if you are there every day, having to see it happen. It's not a luxury that I think designers get, that costumers get, to actually be part of every little bit. Even choreographers sometimes I don't think are there every day.
Yeah.
But to have to suffer through a lot of different things that take up all your time to make it work for everybody, I think is what
And
has
why
to
did you
happen.
want to be in Shrek? I mean, you're so busy. I mean, you're doing so much shit. I mean, why, and the reason why I ask is because you are very choosy in the musicals that you decide to perform in. And, so why Shrek? Why did you want to be in Shrek? Was it because of that? Kind of like, oh, I've got to...
No, the actor side is a totally different brain. The actor side is not my home. The actor is something that just happens every once in a while, but it's not my comfort zone at all. I hate rehearsing. I never learn my lines. I never know a lyric to a song, even after it's open. Sorry. And I am probably...
He's lying.
No, it's...
No.
I always know the dance moves. I can do the dance moves. But I think I am terrible at rehearsing because I'm the guy that causes trouble.
Why do you cause trouble?
Because I don't know. Because I'm a jerk when my actor side is a jerk.
I don't think your actor side is a jerk. I really don't. I think you're brilliant. I think you're brilliant all the way. I mean, I really do. Truly. I mean, when I say Renaissance man,
Maybe a spoiled brat. I'm a spoiled brat.
well, you are a spoiled brat, but you're a sweet spoiled brat. So I love you for that. But that doesn't negate the fact that, you have all of these talents. And I don't think that you're ever like an asshole, like ever. Like I've worked with you now going on 2 years. And I've never, ever, Dan can attest to this, I've never said, motherfucker, that guy's an asshole, ever. Now, I have for almost everybody in the company, but never you. Seriously.
Wow.
Seriously, I will say that.
Wow.
I will say that publicly.
Got
Rob
some-
Hypes.
Got some gasps over in the corner.
No, I will say that. I really, really will, because I've never seen that side of you. You just, I've seen you frustrated, and I've seen you, and obviously, Jesus, why wouldn't you be? But I've never ever seen you lose cool to where,
I don't want anybody to see that.
you never.
It's not cute.
I never have.
I don't.
I never have.
Yeah.
Ever. Maybe like, personal stuff or whatever,
Yeah.
when, that kind of thing, and that's cool. But like from a professional standpoint, never. So don't ever think that, because I think you're brilliant. I wish that you would act in more things. I really do.
I don't like it.
Why?
I don't like it.
Why?
It's
You just don't like that side of you?
I love to make everything look good. I like to build it all, put it all together. And then I don't even need my name associated with it.
I know.
I don't like people
You
to
have no
say
hubris
you did a
whatsoever.
good job. I don't like that.
know.
It doesn't do anything for me. It makes me feel uncomfortable, which is strange because I don't think I'm shy at all. Why the hell am I shy when someone wants to tell me I did a good job? I'm like, I don't really want to hear that. Just keep liking it over there, and it's fine.
I think you're just humble.
I don't even know if it's humble. It's somewhere in between something.
I think it's humble, and I think it's very refreshing, just because I don't think that many people, especially, in theater with everything that you're doing, have that personality. Everybody, obviously, when you go into theater, most of it is, look at me, yay, I'm great, which, that's cool. I'm not, when I perform, I'm not going to perform to an empty stage,
From an artistic direction, I think, which is a strange creature.
Yeah, but I've known plenty of dickheads that, are like the accolades too,
Yeah.
So, you really are, you're a strange hybrid, with that.
I tried to go do the path to fame and fortune, the path to what I thought I always wanted to do, and I didn't care for it. I didn't like,
You didn't like the attention?
I didn't like who you had to become to get to where you needed to be. The attention was fine. The work was really good. The work that was produced was really good. I was always happy with that. It was just, you have to give everything, 100%, all the time. There is no off time if you really want to make it. But it's different. I'm sure it's different for everybody. But at least the path I took was going in a strange direction. I never thought I would be doing professional props. I never, when I came back here, I hadn't been on stage in like 7 years. I never thought I would do that again.
I'm glad you did.
It's been fun, but there's not pressure, I guess, to.
So there's no pressure involved, like.
No, I think if I want to do something, I attack it, which is different than feeling like, oh my God, I gotta get this part. I have to get this job. I have. No, I was done with that. I did that for 4 years in the Bay Area, and I was like, I have to be done for a little while.
That's refreshing.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
other
can't
people
imagine.
that I was surrounded with thrive on that. I'm like, great, that is for you, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
My roots have always been in some sort of community theater, even from when I was 7 years old.
Right.
So it always feels like comfort. And I think, although I did love designing big shows again when I was working for the opera again, but I love the comfort of having the freedom to do whatever you want on a small space.
Yeah.
And do it grand, or do it simple, or do whatever. And to
When
not,
you say opera, you're talking about. Where?
I was designing for Townsend for 5 shows in Modesto at the Gallo Theater.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was huge.
They were big shows.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. No. Yeah. So if you've seen a Gallo show.
they were big shows.
Yeah.
Building an opera in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Big shows.
Yeah.
But still, at the same time, I kept all of my own ideas of. I try to keep it small but grand and everything too. I was trying to keep all of my same ideals I had in a community theater or a small black box space, but bringing it to a bigger space with a limited budget. So it was interesting.
No, and it's been great, and I think that that's one of the things I think that sets, Playhouse Merced apart, is that, you do have these phenomenal sets and, phenomenal costuming and, and the actors, yes, important, directors important, that kind of thing, but, the sets, I think, are as big. Turn your phone off. You've been getting texts all day, or all during the show too. I'm like, come on, man, turn it off.
Good. I left mine over there.
This is the beauty of podcasts. You can just like interrupt. But no, what I was saying was, I think that the sets that you make and the costumes that you make, I think that they are just characters within themselves.
It's an extension of what I said about clothes earlier. I feel it out for the space. I look at the space. I feel it out, and I don't try to think about it too much. And also attached to that is, these are all coming together now. This is all coming together now. It's instinct. It's just closing your eyes and going. A lot of what I will do when I design something is I will research, throw it all away, close my eyes. What I remember is what strikes me. And then there's part of me that always wants to go, okay, when I was a kid, what part of this reflects back to my childhood? And those are the things that I kind of combine together to put into something that has the stamp of the show on it.
Well, and I will say, there are times that, because obviously you're rehearsing before the set and you get the costumes and all that kind of stuff. So you're rehearsing. And I will say with you, even rehearsing like me, like doing Cat or something, so being May, and rehearsing in that. But when I get on that stage and when I see the set complete, it changes. It changes a little bit because you're just like, oh my gosh, that set was so gorgeous and so beautiful, but so simply complex, I guess. There are just so many different layers into it that you do kind of change. You morph, I think, even deeper into that character, and that is incredible.
I react to objects.
Yeah,
I almost have to have my costume before I understand who I am sometimes on stage. I have to have parts of the set before I understand where I'm standing. I need a few of those things because I react to the objects around me and what they tell me and blah, 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 blah.
And like I said, with
but there's people who don't.
Well, and with
there's people
me,
who don't need any of that.
It's just, but it's the opposite with me to where I'm doing that and I don't have that luxury to be like, oh, well, show me this or show me that. So when you get on, you're just like, oh, okay. Now I understand. The most frustrating part of theater, in a lot, I think, from a certain perspective, blah blah blah. I think sometimes the most frustrating part of theater for me is that you can't always convey what it's going to be to somebody, and having to help somebody through that struggle to get to where it's going to be on stage when they don't know what it's going to look like, they don't know what it's going to be. So not only are they trying to act, but they're surrounded by these questions. Well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? You just do it. Yeah. Well, and I love that. I love that about theater. I love that kind of element of surprise. I love that being able to go and just go in and say, okay, I've been working on this for, 3 weeks and now the set's done or now the costumes are there and now you do it and you're like, I get it. And that's what I think is, a big gift with you is that it's like you have this ability to be able to just nail it without even the actors knowing. They're going for that, but then you just kind of complete it. Does that make sense? And I think that's just, that's fantastic. Yeah. So what has been your favorite character so far that you've played?
Oh my gosh. I did love Bobby Strong in You're in Town.
I did too.
But my top two favorites are Nigel Rancourt in Something's Afoot, which was, 5 years ago now. It's a British musical murder mystery, and I played the outlandish, avant-garde,
not you,
black sheep nephew.
Of course not.
Who was very sinister, but very fey. I knew the lines before it began. And then I think a year later I played Dickon for Secret Garden. And I was 30, 4 years ago. I was 30 and I was chubby and out there trying to play it. I didn't even try to play the 17-year-old that Dickon's supposed to be. I just was playing this strange creature who talks to the animals and can play the flute to the creatures and just was connected somehow to this mystical, foggy, marshy land. The moors, I think. Yeah, moors or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was just bizarre. It was also a combination of, there was two kids in the show. One was Leah Bateman and the other one was should know this.
I don't know.
Eric Box's son. Daniel Box.
Okay.
Daniel Box.
Daniel.
Got it. And somehow between, and it was the first show I had ever worked with Melissa Beckwith, and we didn't really know each other, but we had each other's backs.
Yeah.
When we were on stage crying, we were crying for real. And when we were like creating the magic in the middle of the show, it was real. I feel it was spiritual for me. I was playing this strange spiritual character, and I don't know if it was good or not. It doesn't matter if it was good or not. To me, I walked away with this amazing memory.
Yeah.
And this connection to these people. And we didn't spend any time off stage together. We never talked, nothing. But when we came on stage and did our scenes,
You guys were boom.
it was like I've never felt that before. And I think that's why it's my favorite. It has nothing to do with how the acting was or what
That's
the show was
awesome.
like. It was that moment.
That's fantastic.
So that's very strange.
No,
It's
but
not-
it's awesome.
I don't know if that's an actor response. I don't know.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. So, okay, so we're going to wrap up.
Okay.
But Zig and Zag, address again.
1708 Canal Street.
Okay, go on down. Seriously, prices are, God, that leopard jacket, $30 for that fucking coat. $30. It's like a $200 coat. It's like fantastic. Yeah. So
somebody
come
can
down,
afford
yeah, and support. And seriously, it's awesome. They will fit you. They will guide you through, you know, if you have questions, that kind of thing. They will. They're like personal shoppers for you. And number two, like what he said, there are local designers, you know, people like purses and jewelry and just everything.
Lots of local artisans.
Yeah, lots of local art. Allison Rush.
Yes.
She's
And I just want to be a place where they can be.
Yeah.
Uplifted.
So it's not only just like great fucking clothes and fashion, but it really is community, and it really, really is, you know, just go there, you know, elevate the community and shop and give back.
Business is hard. Art is easy.
That's hell yeah. Hell yeah. And when does Shrek open?
February 28th. Friday, February 28th.
February 28th.
3
and
weekends.
yes, so 3 weekends, and that's going to be awesome because it's going to be Corey, Jesus, GB, Moose, Diane, Mel, good Lord, everybody.
House of Zig and Zag on Facebook.
Yes, House and Zig and Zag. Oh, yes.
House of Zig and Zag
Yes.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we have.
Like the page.
We post what happens in the store and
Yeah.
what we're thinking and new ideas and new ways to put stuff together all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, so if you want to get in contact with them, you know, well, obviously go to the shop. Its hours are Tuesday through Saturday.
12:30 to 6:30.
See, I know all
And
that.
Art Hop, we're open later all night for Art Hop.
Yeah. So come in or message them on Facebook, and they'll be happy to set appointments too, right? Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you, Corey
Thank you.
Strauss. I love you.
Cheers.
Yay! Cheers. Congratulations on your new store.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye. I'll go have a cigarette.